Yeah, we have.
At least we got my slides, so that's
There we
good,
are.
I would say. Well, good morning, everyone. Yes, it's exciting to be back here. Last year, I think we had a wonderful crowd, some great conversations, and even a couple of years back when I was at Columbia University, I think this place was also very exciting conversations. It's always a good event to come back to, and it's also kind of a nice place to benchmark yourself as to, the size of the dreams that you're able to work on or that you're able to report on. And in fact, the dreams have been growing year after year after year, and I think it's a good sign for the industry as a whole. So who wouldn't want to work on $1 billion business case? I think everybody here would secretly love to be part of such an initiative. And only a few of us at the end of the day get the opportunity or are blessed to have the opportunity to actually ever be involved in such a case. And since I've been lucky to actually know somebody who is involved in such a case, I'm really delighted to present this case to you all. Introduce you to my friend George, who works at Nokia Networks, who is one of the lucky few who had the opportunity, saw it, and seized it. This presentation today is about 4 things. Of course, superscaling knowledge to real-world industrial use cases. It's about George and his vision at Nokia. It's a little bit about tooling. We're a vendor. We had to mention a little bit of that. And it's a little bit also about symbolic AI, which is kind of falling behind numeric AI a little bit because of all the buzz with the language models. But I think, it's not to be underestimated, and I think it's important for all of us to know that symbolic AI projects are actually moving the needle to a degree that none of the LLM projects are actually doing at the moment. So I think, for our own confidence and, what we stand for, I think it's important to understand that symbolic AI does have an incredible impact on not only the environment, but also on the companies that we're working with, on the people that we're working with, and the future of all of our lives on the journey to actual AI. I got this. I got to figure out, is this the button to click? Okay, so this, of course, me and George get across that. All right. Well, a study performed by mobile networks giant Ericsson. I don't know if you know that mobile networks is really 3 large players: Ericsson, Huawei, and the leader Nokia. This study in 2015 found that mobile networks are consuming about 240 terawatts of energy a year globally. I don't know if any one of you understands how much that is in terms of solar panels or utility scale windmills, but I can tell you that a gigawatt, which is a thousandth of a terawatt, is about the output of 480 of those windmills in an hour. So we're talking incredible amounts of energy consumption here. George will tell you how he used knowledge graph technology to automate his company's software supply chain in an effort to create productivity for his just delivery processes. And he stumbled across the largest energy saving potential on the planet. Saving a great amount of environment, approximately 280,000 acres worth of deforestation can be prevented with the stuff that he's implementing annually. 280,000 acres of forest. In dollar terms, it's about $9 billion of energy cost savings that he can create with his team. And I guess I got to also press buttons here to get moving on in my slides. We at Asensa had the privilege of working with some of the world's most seasoned graph and business experts, serving dozens of the top 500 companies in the world. Our corporate memory product provides an enterprise-grade no-code and environment for documenting knowledge, fusing it with data, and scaling it into various enterprise use cases. But our products have not been very accessible to our community. In order for more of you to be able to scalable deploy knowledge graphs, you need broader and sustainable access to a platform that unifies and scales your knowledge across your graph activities. That is why I'm thrilled to announce to you Asensa Community Edition Sandbox, a free cloud environment for all of you to use for all of your prototyping, all of your testing, all of your data integration activities, be it for future use in combination with our product or for use of data integration with our market partners, RDFox, Semantic Web Company. All of these projects have a problem with a sustainable and scalable process of integrating data and knowledge. It's the hidden 80% of all of your projects. And it is time for this to become industrialized. And that's why we are putting out this product at this conference. So it's a new thing that we're announcing. We're extremely excited about, and we've already gotten a lot of great feedback for it. So feel free to go to eccenca.my and get your own free sandbox and just test drive AI-driven data integration and data stitching. I think it's quite amazing. Our mission with the offering is to provide either the next George among us with the tools to live his dreams, to fulfill his visions, even in an environment where IT doesn't understand the value of graph, doesn't want to run or manage your graph technology, doesn't want to support you. So we want you to have the tooling to just go ahead and do what George did in your environment. And since all of you have probably already done successful projects with graphs and have seen the uphill battle that our technology has in traditional IT environments, you will understand how valuable it is to get support on that side. And yeah, we hope to contribute to your success in that way. So thank you for being here and taking note. But just going back to the product itself, the sandbox will give you 3 key elements for your graph projects, and that is, at least it's our mission: effortless graph creation, no code; resilient data product automation. So this is also full service level driven, quality assurance, automated data products provided to many customers in your organization at scale. And then we have also come up with a powerful business knowledge modeling environment that allows you to communicate with business people in your organization that don't understand ontologies, that don't understand OWL or RDF or anything. You just want them to mind map basically how they see the data. I think our product kind of provides that, and it's not it's not an ontology editor. It's really a tool for the business people to kind of get engaged with the data that you guys can provide. So I think I can only encourage you. We had a masterclass yesterday to look that up, from zero to hero in knowledge graph building. And I guess that's free for you to download later on. And also use eccenca.my to get your hand on the sandbox. But I don't want to waste more time. Let's give a great round of applause for George, the amazing knowledge graph hero, who's on. I don't know if he's on there. Can you hear him yet? He coming?
I'm on there. Maybe you can give me a thumbs up if you hear me. Very good.
All right. Let's give you the applause, George. Thanks for coming on. It's been an amazing journey.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks for the intro, Chris. And sorry that I can't be there in NYC. I would love to be there, but I promise I'll be there next time. So let's start into that. You guys might ask, hey, Nokia, you're still up there? You might have seen the logos and the new shiny stuff out there on Times Square. I hope so, you did. So what are we doing today? It's not about smartphones anymore, as you imagine. So we're still the biggest B2B technology provider and innovation leader when it comes to communication services. So everything we do in our day-to-day life, connecting to people, connecting to services, basically runs at least at one stage across elements which we provide in our portfolio. We're the ones paving the way for things like 5G and 6G. We're the ones having the renowned Bell Labs and improving the way we live and how we shape our digital future. But let's not waste time about what we are as a company. Let's move to the topic which Chris introduced already, software delivery. And how does that make sense with knowledge graphs, and how do you digitize that? So let's start with the pain points that we had and how we turned them into success factors. So the first thing we had, real-time software metering. We had capabilities there, but in a siloed approach. So it's good to have that, but if you can't connect it to the other domains in your entire end-to-end software chain, it's a silo of knowledge. Second thing, which we need to address, continuous data backhaul. You need to have insights into what your products do out there on the field. You need to have insights in how they perform, when they do not perform, and you need to continuously retrieve that data. The third important point, get a centralized data orchestration to connect all of that. As I was saying, it's nice if you have features like the two upper ones already shown, but if you can connect them and make a common sense out of that, make a common knowledge out of it, it's siloed knowledge. The fourth pain point we had no seamless sharing across of that data in our business segment. So even if we would have had centralized linked data orchestration, there was no way to share it. There was no architecture, no processes, no methodology to do that. The fifth one in the row, making that list complete, putting intelligence on top of that. Knowledge is the enabler for everything, but the important question is, what do you do with that knowledge? And we had basically nothing there to make use of it in our software delivery chain. So next slide, Chris. Talking about these siloed responsibility areas and knowledges, which were preventing optimization. So when we speak about software in practice, we had things, licensing and security. So defining how our software is packaged, how to control it, how to license it, how to sell it. We also had entitlement capabilities. So the process, how we engage with our customers, how to manage right to use accesses and all of that stuff. The third pillar, delivery and update. As said, we need to know what's going on. We need to have a continuous cycle of update processes, patch the product, make our products better, roll out new features as fast as possible whenever we are ready to release them. And the fourth element, analytics. Of course, we want to know what our products are doing. We need to understand what is going on in our products. Only if we have that knowledge, we can make use of it. So let's put some analytics into there. These were the four main elements which feed our breakthrough approach, which is then coming on the next slide. Putting Asensa's corporate memory, which Chris can and his guys can tell you all about at their booth, in the center, in the heart of it, we were able to make those four so far siloed dots a one common ground of knowledge. So the corporate memory builds the central function really for all these business segments, unifying knowledge, making that knowledge shareable, and covering all of these data domains you see here: compliance data, commercial data, the R&D side of things with all of the artifacts and binaries, in product analytics, and surrounding master data, which you need to execute your end-to-end software business. All of these domains were built up in a centralized knowledge graph, ontology, taxonomy, covering all of these aspects and finally unifying all of these domains and make them shareable across all our business segments to make use of it. That was the key driving factors. On the next slide, we will then see how such a use case could look like. So you see the customer guy there sitting with his phone at his hands, and you see also a thing being called the digital marketplace. Imagine this being like your app store, but now think on a very different magnitude and scale. We're not talking about you checking your app store for an update of one of your beloved apps, and then you push a button update, and then a second later it's updated. We're speaking the magnitude of massive size mobile telecommunication networks with millions and billions of subscribers connected to it, millions and billions of devices connected to it. So imagine transferring that app store-like experience into such a magnitude, into such a scale. That's basically what we did. You see a couple of elements in there. The left side, product R&D, build and test. That's the classical software production in that sense. That's our guys in our R&D centers developing the software we're selling to our customers to control and leverage our communication services. On the right side, where it says digital software deployment, that's the area of really deploying the stuff out there into the field, into the networks. On the top, you have the engagement factors with the customer, the marketplace, the place to obtain features, to sell, purchase new features. And right in the center of this entire ecosystem, there's where we have our so-called software delivery platform, in which the core element is the corporate memory system by our friends from Asensa. And there, all of these knowledge factors are unified. So it doesn't matter if you approach this entire journey from the R&D side of things, from the field side, deployment side, or from a customer side. All of the events that might happen on each of these segments is in a unified way connected in that central knowledge orchestration layer, so that we can make use of it to really implement these unthought of use cases that with the click of a button you can enjoy the latest greatest features, the latest versions and updates directly patched into your live running mobile networks without disturbing the millions and billions of subscribers you have there. Finally, the success. So what have we gotten out of it? That's maybe the question you have. We had the pain points at the beginning. Now we have turned them into success factors. Again, we have now real-time software metering. So we can obtain the insights into what our products are doing. We can obtain how they are doing, when they are doing, and the surrounding ecosystem of it. We have a continuous data backhaul, so to get that data back to us, to make use of it. Same thing with the third pillar, centralized linked data orchestration. Finally, we have that. So not only can we obtain the knowledge, areas 1 and 2, but we can make use of it in a centralized way. And we have a seamless integration to all our different business segments who have direct real-time access to the data, to the knowledge, to make use of it, and to put their perspective, segment-related analytics, machine learning topics, AI topics on top of it to make use of the knowledge we have gathered there. If we move on, some key achievements, as Chris introduced. The first one right on the left, energy consumption. You can imagine that the mobile services that we offer are consuming a lot of energy. And when you have the opportunity to digitize your knowledge about how your products are performing and making use of the resources they are working on in such a way that you can put intelligence on top, which lets you optimize your entire network, not only speaking about one single network element. That's kind of easy. That's what we know. We have solutions for that. But really, the overarching network in its entirety, to kind of put self-optimizing mechanics onto that, that's when you really make use of energy saving potentials. Same thing goes for performance. You can improve the way how your elements make use of the resources they have available. Business volume as such, business models which we never thought of are just now materializing because of the fact that we have knowledge about it. Throughput time, that's a huge success we achieved due to the fact that we finally were able to, in an end-to-end manner, make up this entire software delivery chain in a fully automated and integrated manner. The throughput time from purchasing stuff on our marketplace, running through all the elements, and finally having it out there in the field could be reduced by almost 100%. Product innovation cycles, kind of straightforward. As you may imagine, the better insights and the better knowledge you get to your developers, the better they can innovate your product. We move to the next one, Chris. We kind of come to the main question. Why have we done that with the folks from Asensa? Well, for me, when I had to make that decision, it was kind of easy. I was looking out for some element, some solution, which was enabling me to overcome these challenges, as I was describing a bit earlier when I covered the pain points. how could I make use of the knowledge I had? How could I digitize the knowledge I had in all of the silos? How can I get rid of my distributed and siloed data product pipelines and really unify them? How could I make use of the knowledge in a way that I could put powerful business analytics and stuff like that on it? That's where the corporate memory really shined. That's why we used it. And that's what we still use today. We are further developing it. More customers and products are jumping on that solutions to make use of the knowledge we are creating day in and day out. Our knowledge graph is hugely growing every day. So we are celebrating knowledge. I would say you celebrate knowledge as well and have fun there at KGC, and check out the folks from Asensa with their new community edition sandbox. It helped me to celebrate knowledge. I think it will also help you.
Thank you very much, George. Thank you for your time, and thank you for giving me the chance to be part of something so amazing. Any questions? Do we have time for questions? What's the situation here? We got about 4 minutes and 39 seconds, George. So
yeah, we still started a bit with delay, so I tried to cover up some.
Good job.
Thanks for presentation, for sharing here. I think just a quick question, something you're not like they touch deeply about your real time you mentioned. Like can you elaborate like how your knowledge graph or your architecture behind to achieve the real time in terms of what kind of real time at what part, the end-to-end process, please? Thanks.
Yes, the knowledge graph manages basically allows us to pre-build configurations that can be deployed when patterns are recognized. So the knowledge graph and the reasoning at scale in that type of a scale scenario isn't really a shoot from the hip type of technology. So we're actually developing the scenarios and developing potential configurations for different network scenarios, and then basically pushing the configuration to the edge on demand, but on the fly. So, excuse me, pre-built configurations only. Yeah. Any more questions? Sure, Teresa.
Thank you. I saw that you had collaboration across R&D, cyber, commercial. Did these different parts of the business model their own domain knowledge, or did you have a central team really helping them? How did you enable that?
George, if you want to take it, but I can take it. I think it is a centralized service that supports all the different business units with the skills required to convert their business knowledge into something scalable, because that's not widely available at the moment, but you all are invited to help, spread the word.
Yeah, just adding on to that, fully right. So that's the beauty with the way how you can link and transform your data with the Asensa solution. So you were absolutely right. Of course, I had an interest that the R&D folks. I don't want the R&D folks to, in their mindset, turn into a sales expert. I don't want them, and I don't need them to be experts in the sales domain. They should develop me the best products in the world they can. And at the same time, I want the sales guys to make up his mind about the best marketing and go-to-market approach. So yes, I was in favor of keeping those domains at separate, but at the same time, create a unification layer in the middle, which helps me to unify these worlds. So that was the challenge, and that's where the functionalities regarding integrating and linking data were coming in really handy.
Thanks, George.
Thank you. George just answered the question I was going to ask as a follow-up.
All right.
I'm interested in the governance of the knowledge. So are we managing a network of individual models that are evolving, or are we managing one graph where the evolution is managed object by object that I add to the graph as I integrate more knowledge?
I'd have to pass that to my tech colleague if you want to answer that, Renee. I don't know. Is that okay with you?
I think I can try to answer that, and Georg, jump in if I'm talking nonsense here. But in the beginning, we basically designed a central model, right, with the means and the approach to evolve that over time, right? But yeah, I was part of the initial design of that project 3 years ago, roughly. So Georg, if you want to add more current information to this, go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. That's basically how we're rolling. As I said, these different domains, they still are fine to change stuff on their expertise, their domain expertise, whenever they feel the need to. The important thing is, and that's nicely fueling back to the overall story, they need to know that there is a unifying layer which offers this enabling service of making all of these nice things happening. So they are fine to change stuff at their domains as long as we know it and as long as it makes sense and we have a orchestrating say on, okay, that's accepted, we take it into account, and it becomes part of the overall centralized and integrated knowledge layer.
Maybe I can add 50 cents here too, because I think we talked about the 3 layers of our product, and the business knowledge editor is really giving you that type of governance. Because on the one hand, you have the centralized librarian type of team that creates the vocabulary, standardized vocabulary that makes sure that you have the integration across all the business units, and then you have the business knowledge editor, which basically is freewheeling business people sharing their knowledge of what they think is happening in the business, but using the vocabulary that you provide. So that kind of gives you the freedom, for the business to do whatever they want and still give you the sustainability of keep all that linked back into your organization and all your processes. And, it gives you a nice flow of communication, but also a growth pattern for you to then enhance ontologies where necessary. I think we're overboard with 45 seconds. I don't know what the plan is. Are there any more questions? Well, then, again, thank you very much, Georg. It was a pleasure working with you over the years. You've been great. Thank you very much, and thank you all for your time. Have a good one. Hope to see you around.
Thanks all. Bye.